question 2. Hopefully you can read that. This question is asking us to name each compound as a phenol. Okay, so that seems quite wordy, but we'll break it down and understand what exactly a phenol is. Okay, so phenol is going to have a group, an R group, like a carboxylic group, and it's attached to an OH. That is the basis of phenol. It's an alcohol. Well, actually, just to make sure, because I noticed that it's actually phenol, so PHEN, that actually stands for phenylalanine. I mean, that's how you spell it. But that's pretty much what it's trying to say is that it has a benzene ring. So we can't forget that. So it's actually not this. It's going to be a benzene ring and an OH. And somewhere in this, so this is a phenol right here, as basic as it can get. But somewhere in there you can add some groups in there and it changes the name of it, but it still keeps phenol at the end. Okay, and that's a key part, because now we know that, at least that information. So let's just write at the top, because we know it's going to end with phenol for 2 of them. I'm going to put a phenol here and a phenol here, give it some space. All right, and now we're going to draw these compounds. Now I do draw them slightly different. The circle just implies resonance, because as you notice, those bonds that you see there, okay, they're always switching. This one will move over here, this one will move over there, this one will move over here. So it kind of forms a circle, hence why I draw it like that. Okay, but some softwares may not be able to show it like that. That's why they have it like that as well. Well, with the bonds instead of just a ring. But here we'll draw our first one. So we have the OH here, and our second one okay, not the most flattering pics, but hopefully it can at least show what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Let's move this a little more down. Alright, so now where this carbon, the methyl group, is attached at the bottom, CH3, that's methyl because it only has 1 ring, which is actually help us answer that question later. And now there's 2 CH3s attached to each wing here. Now with phenols, the cool thing is that where the OH is attached actually tells you where your starting carbon is, because it wants to give the most priority to where the phenol is. Because of that, we can actually label this as 1. Now it doesn't really matter which direction you go, as long as you start with 1 at the carbon attached to the OH, okay? That's the only way this works in terms of the naming, in terms of proper naming. So with this, I'm going to go this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing for the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we've done that. Now, the way the naming works for this is that you want to be able to say the subgroup, the name of it, and where it's located, starting with the location. So here, the methyl group is on the 4. So this is 4 dash methyl phenol. That is the name for this compound here, because that tells you that there's a methyl group, because there's only 1 carbon, methyl 1, ethyl 2, etc. And it's on the 4th one. So that's it for this question. Now here's a little bit trickier in the second one, because there's actually 2 phenyl groups on the 2 and the 6. So with this, you still want to make sure you put where it's located. So you put 2, 6, okay, and the space. Now, funny enough, there's also a way to account for when you have multiple of the same thing. Di for 2, tri for 3, etc. So in this case, they're just putting methyl. You put 2,6-dimethyl phenol, and that is the name of this compound here. Now hopefully you're able to follow along, and more so I was able to do this correctly, so that way you just follow the steps for this. In terms of naming these compounds, it's important to recognize what counts as a phenol at first, because looking at this you might try to figure out, okay, how do I account for the OH group and the methyl group? When they say it's a phenol, and also usually how it goes, because there's a stronger group, it takes priority, which is why that's how it's going to end, instead of it being some methane ending. And then now that you know what your basis is, like your picture of what a phenol is, as we refer to here, you can kind of then go to figure out what's attached to that phenol and then name it accordingly. So for this, I am impressed, because 2-ethylphenol is not correct, because that would actually, so if we had our phenol group, okay, with the OH, depending on where you started, let's say the 2 was here, that will be 2-ethylphenol, okay? And if it was, for the second one, 2,4,6-trichlorophenol, there's a possibility here that they may be seeing different compounds than we see, but for your reference, so if you want to take a screenshot of this or anything, so that way you know for future reference, I'll also write down the names right under it so you can keep track. But for this question here, if it was 2,4,6, as we said, this is the 2,4,6, and chloro means chlorine only, so that's what that would look like. So this is 2-ethylphenol and 2,4,6-trichlorophenol. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that this is not correct. If we had, maybe there was a second part of it, they're definitely on the right track, but this is what those would look like. So feel free, take a snippet, review your nomenclature. Very important when it comes to things like these, because these questions do pop up on occasion. And with that, let's move on to question 3, the next question, okay?